the twin suns of the planet Nuares burned gently in the sky, casting golden light over the arena of stone. Thousands of alien spectators filled the curved seats, waiting for the show to begin. From tall insect-like Kreen, to glowing-eyed Yellery, the crowd was as colorful as the galaxy itself. But one face stood out, a girl with soft orange fur, tall pointed ears, and eyes like a wild forest. Her name was Lyra, and she came from the Vulpine species. She had grown up on Nuares, watching warriors from many worlds try and fail to tame the terrible beast called the Dranox. The Dranox was not just a wild animal. It was a living storm. Huge, black-scaled, with long horns and eyes that burned blue. It was kept in a deep pit, surrounded by energy walls that hummed with power. No creature had ever stepped into that pit and come out alive. Lyra had seen strong fighters, proud leaders, even mind readers attempt the ritual of taming. All had failed. Some left with broken bones. Others never returned at all. Today, another brave soul was set to try. She leaned forward as a strange figure entered the arena. He walked slowly, calmly, as if he had no fear at all. He wore simple clothes, no armor, no weapons. Just a jacket, boots, and a small brown bag slung over one shoulder. Whispers ran through the crowd. Is that a human? What is he doing here? A human? He'll be crushed in seconds. Lyra blinked. She had heard of humans before. A new species on the edge of the galaxy. People said they were soft, small, and weak. Some laughed at them. Others ignored them. But no one had ever seen a human try the taming ritual. The human stepped into the center of the arena. His name, the announcer said, was Tamed. Lyra frowned. There was nothing special about him. He looked tired, maybe even a little sad. But his eyes, they were calm. Too calm. The ground shook. A deep, angry roar rose from the pit. Sparks jumped across the energy walls. The beast was awake. The energy shield lowered. Smoke rose. The huge shape of the Dranox came into view. Its heavy steps cracked the stone. Its breath steamed in the air. The crowd fell silent. Tamed didn't move. Lyra held her breath. This was madness. He didn't even raise his hands to defend himself. The Dranox saw him and roared again, louder this time. Its muscles tensed. Then, with speed like lightning, it charged. Many in the crowd stood up, some screamed. Lyra jumped from her seat. "Run, you fool," she shouted. But Tamed did not run. He stood still, waiting until the last second. Then he knelt. The Dranox stopped. Its claws scraped the ground just inches from Tamed. Its hot breath blew his hair back. Its eyes glowed fiercely. But it didn't attack. Tamed reached into his bag slowly, carefully. He pulled out a small piece of meat and placed it on the ground. The Dranox looked at it, then back at him. Its growl softened. Tamed reached again and took out a small silver object. He lifted it to his lips and blew. A soft tune flowed out, a gentle, peaceful melody. The sound echoed through the arena like a river in the night. Lyra stared. The crowd went completely still. The beast tilted its head. The melody continued. The Dranox sniffed the meat, then gently took it in its sharp teeth. Tamed did not move. He kept playing, his hands calm, his eyes closed. After a long minute, the Dranox did something no one had ever seen. It sat down. Gasps filled the arena. Shock. Disbelief. Awe. Lyra's heart pounded. "No, this can't be real," she whispered. The song ended. Tamed looked up at the beast. He reached out slowly and touched its leg. The Dranox allowed it. From the stands, a voice cried, "He cheated. That's not taming." Others shouted back, "No, he didn't. He did it with no weapons." Impossible. It must be a trick. But the beast did not move. It simply stood beside Tamil, like a quiet shadow. Lyra could not look away. This human, this strange, calm man, had done what no warrior, no champion, no genius had ever done. He had tamed the untamable. And he had done it with kindness. Some called it a miracle. Others called it luck. Many did not believe it at all. But one thing was certain: Tamil, the human, had changed something. In the upper halls of the arena, the High Council of Nuaris gathered. Alien leaders from different species sat around a glowing circle. They had seen the event with their own eyes. They had felt the silence when the beast sat beside Tamil. And now, they were afraid. "This changes everything," said a tall, thin merry leader, her skin shining like blue glass. "A human? Taming a beast with music," growled a Krogan warrior with thick arms and tusks. "This is not strength. This is trickery." The oldest among them, a wise Yellari, shook his head. "It is not trickery. It is new. And the galaxy fears what it does not understand." Back in the city below, Lyra, the Vulpine girl, walked quickly through the stone corridors of the arena. She had watched every attempt to tame the Dranox in the last 5 years. And none of them looked anything like what she had seen today. She found Tamil sitting quietly on a bench near the arena garden, feeding birds with crumbs from his bag. No guards, no fear. Just him and a quiet moment. "You could have died," she said, stepping closer. Tamil looked up and smiled. "But I didn't." Lyra tilted her head. "How did you do it?" "The Dranox has killed Krogan fighters. Burned through metal armor. No one's ever gotten that close." Tamil threw another crumb. "Where I come from, we learn to listen. I didn't try to control the beast. I just showed it I wasn't a threat." "You didn't even carry a weapon." He nodded. "Weapons speak one language. I wanted to speak another." Lyra didn't understand it. Her whole life, she was taught that strength came from control, from power. But what Tamil did, it was something else. Something that made her question everything. Suddenly, a voice called from behind them. It was a council messenger, dressed in silver robes. "Tamil of Earth. The council has summoned you. A new challenge has been issued." Tamil stood calmly. "I expected that." Hours later, the arena was full once more. The sun was lower in the sky, painting the stone seats with gold and red. But the crowd was larger, louder, more curious. "This time he won't succeed. They'll test if he's real or fake. Another beast. Stronger than the last." Lyra sat near the front, heart beating fast. The council had chosen a new beast, the Zarnok. It was larger than the Dranox, with 3 glowing eyes and long, sharp legs. It came from a planet where nothing was ever tamed. Even its own kind feared it. The rules were simple. No weapons. No helpers. No tricks. If Tamil could calm this beast, he would be proven. If not, his method would be banned, and humans would be seen as weak once again. Tamil entered the arena the same way: calm, quiet, unafraid. He carried only his small bag. The Zarnok stood inside a cage of light. It growled as the walls dropped. Its legs clicked against the stone. The crowd leaned forward. Lyra couldn't blink. The beast charged. Tamil didn't move. At the last second, he stepped aside, gently, like stepping out of the way of a wave. The Zarnok rushed past him, confused. It turned again, snarling. Tamil reached into his bag. This time, he pulled out a simple mirror. The crowd frowned. "What is he doing?" He held the mirror up. The Zarnok stopped. For the first time, it saw itself, its angry eyes, its sharp teeth, its shaking body. Then, something unexpected happened. It backed away. Tamil placed the mirror on the ground, then knelt. He took out a fruit and placed it beside the mirror. The Zarnok stepped closer, slowly, cautiously. It sniffed the fruit. Its growl softened. Tamil said a few words, soft and steady. No one could hear them, but Lyra knew they weren't for the crowd. They were for the beast. After a long moment, the Zarnok sat beside him, just like the Dranox had. The crowd went silent once more. No weapons. No battle. Just patience, calm, and understanding. Lyra felt a chill run through her. This wasn't luck. This wasn't magic. This was something new. Something powerful. As the sun set, Tamil stood and bowed to the council. The crowd rose in applause, in cheers, in awe. But not everyone clapped. In the shadows of the upper seats, some leaders frowned. Not all were pleased with what they saw. And far away, a message was sent. Watch the human closely. This is only the beginning. The stars above Nuaries twinkled like tiny lanterns in the night sky. The arena had grown quiet. The beasts were back in their cages, and the crowds had gone. But one question still echoed in every corner of the city: how did the human do it? The next morning, Lyra walked through the gardens near the outer walls of the arena. Her thoughts were tangled. She had always believed taming came through strength commands, force, showing the beast who was stronger. But Tamil had done none of that. And yet, two of the most feared beasts in the galaxy had listened to him. She found Tamil again. He sat under a tall tree, humming a soft tune and feeding small animals that lived in the garden, tiny six-legged creatures with soft fur and big eyes. You're always feeding something, Lyra said, stepping closer. Tamil smiled without looking up. It's a good way to make friends. Lyra sat beside him, her tail curling around her feet. No one has ever tamed even one of those beasts. You've tamed two. Tamil nodded. I didn't tame them. I helped them feel safe. Lyra tilted her head. That sounds too simple. Tamil pulled a small object from his pocket. It was a smooth stone, carved with a symbol. Back on Earth, my grandfather once told me when a creature growls, look for what hurt it. When it bites, ask what scared it. I've remembered that ever since. Lyra's eyes narrowed. But the Dranox has no feelings. It only destroys. Tamil turned to her. That's what everyone thinks. But when I looked into its eyes, I saw fear. Not anger. Not hunger. Just fear. Lyra went quiet. She remembered the way the Dranox had stopped when Tamil played the music. She remembered how the Zarnok had stared at its own reflection, then backed away. She had never seen fear in those beasts. But maybe, she had never looked for it. Suddenly, a small group of young warriors passed by. They looked at Tamil and laughed. There's the human who sings to monsters, one of them said. He should join the circus, not the council trials, another added. Lyra stood quickly. Show some respect. He's done more than any of you. The warriors walked away, still laughing. Tamil stayed calm. They don't understand, he said softly. That's all right. I didn't come here to impress anyone. Lyra looked at him. Then why did you come? Tamil's eyes turned to the stars. Because we've been ignored for too long. Everyone thinks humans are weak. But maybe we just listen more than others. Maybe that's our strength. Lyra felt a strange warmth in her chest. She had never met anyone like Tamil before. Not just because of what he could do, but because of how he saw the world. Later that day, they walked together to the council hall. A message had come. Tamil was invited to speak before the Galactic Council. The hall was vast and shining, filled with voices in many languages. Leaders from dozens of worlds sat in curved rows, eyes focused on the human who had changed everything. Tamil stepped to the center. No guards. No translator. Just him. He began to speak. His voice was steady, simple. I didn't come here to show off. I didn't come here to win anything. I came to share something my people learned over many years. Sometimes, you don't need to raise your hand to control a creature. You just need to open it. Some leaders nodded. Others frowned. One rose from his seat. A tall Emeri elder, with glowing robes and silver markings. What if your way fails? He asked. What if the beast does not listen? Tamil nodded. Then I will not force it. That is its choice. But I will still try. Because showing kindness is not weakness. It's a path. Lyra watched from the side. She had never felt so proud of someone she barely knew. After the meeting, many gathered around Tamil, some to ask questions, some to challenge him. But one thing was clear, the galaxy was no longer ignoring humans. As the day ended, Lyra and Tamil stood on the high balcony of the arena, watching the stars rise again. I think you've changed something, Lyra said quietly. Tamil shook his head. I haven't changed anything. I just reminded them that there's another way. Below them, in the shadows of the cages, the Dranox looked up. Its glowing blue eyes met Tamil's. And it did not growl. Night covered the skies of Nuaries, and the stars blinked like little fires far away. The arena was dark now, and the crowd had gone. But inside the living quarters near the arena, two voices could still be heard. Lyra sat across from Tamil at a small wooden table. Between them sat warm tea and a soft light glowing from a crystal lamp. The room was simple, quiet, so different from the roar of the arena. I still don't understand, Lyra said, her ears slightly drooped. You didn't come from a world full of danger. Your planet doesn't even have beasts like the Dranox or the Zarnok. So how do you know how to handle them? Tamil took a sip of tea. He looked tired, not in body but in heart. Then he set the cup down and leaned back in his chair. Do you want to know the truth? He asked softly. Lyra nodded. Tamil looked out the small window beside him. His voice was quiet but clear. I grew up in a forest village on Earth. We lived close to nature. No walls. No big machines. Just trees, rivers, and wild animals. He paused, eyes focused on a memory only he could see. When I was 10, my brother and I were walking near the river. He was younger than me. We heard something move in the bushes. A large animal, an old forest bear, came out. It was hungry, scared, maybe hurt. My brother froze. I froze too. Everyone always said, if you see a bear, run. But something told me not to. Lyra leaned forward, listening closely. I remembered what my grandfather had taught me. He always said, don't look at the danger. Look at the reason behind it. So I stepped in front of my brother, slowly. I didn't move too fast. I didn't show fear. I spoke to the bear, softly. Not because it would understand, but because I needed to be calm. I sat down on the ground, and I didn't look into its eyes. What happened? Lyra asked. It stared at us for a long time. Then it walked away. Lyra's eyes were wide. You were lucky. Maybe, Tamil said with a small smile. Or maybe the bear saw I wasn't a threat. It had a choice. Lyra was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke. Most of us are taught to fight, to control, to be stronger than whatever scares us. You do the opposite. Tamil nodded. It doesn't always work. But sometimes, understanding is stronger than power. Just then, a soft knock came at the door. Lyra opened it. A young messenger stood outside, nervous. The council requests your presence in the central garden, he said to Tamil. They have questions and concerns. Tamil thanked him and stood up. Lyra followed him through the silent halls of the arena. The moonlight lit their path as they walked past tall stone pillars and glowing plants. In the central garden, a few council members stood waiting. Their faces were serious. An elder Yellery stepped forward. His robes shimmered in the night light. "Human," he began, "you have done what none before you have. Twice now, you have calmed dangerous creatures. But the galaxy has many enemies, and many beasts far worse than the ones you have faced." Tamed stayed calm. "I understand." The Yellery continued, "Some believe your methods are dangerous. That kindness is a weakness. That it will fail when faced with true rage." Another council member, a short Krogan with dark green skin, stepped forward. "We have reports from other planets. Beasts are growing restless. Something is spreading across the stars. Darkness. Fear. We may face a time where words will not be enough." Tamed looked at them. "Then teach both ways," he said. "Teach strength and understanding. Train warriors and healers. Use swords when needed, but also hands that can reach out in peace." Lyra watched him and felt something shift inside her. She had always believed in strength, in victory through control. But now, she saw a different strength in Tamed, one that did not shout, but still echoed deep inside the heart. The council members looked at each other, then nodded slowly. "We will watch you closely, human," said the Yellery. "And we will test you again." Tamed nodded. "I'm ready." As he and Lyra walked back through the quiet halls, she looked at him carefully. "You weren't just taming beasts," she said. "You were showing everyone something new." Tamed gave a quiet laugh. "Maybe. Or maybe I was just trying to remind them of something they forgot." "What's that?" she asked. He looked up at the stars. "That all living things want the same thing: to be seen, to be heard, and to be safe." And with that, they walked on, not knowing that a new danger was rising far away, a danger that would soon put everything Tamed believed to the greatest test. A soft wind moved through the silver trees of Nuares, but the peace in the air did not reach the hearts of the council. Inside the tall stone tower that stood over the city, voices rose behind closed doors. The council hall was filled with concern, fear, and whispers. "He's only one human," said a sharp-voiced Emeri elder, her crystal fingers tapping the table. "But already, many begin to follow his ideas." "The Vulpine girl speaks in his defense," said another, a Krogan general. "And even the young warriors now ask to be trained in his gentle methods. This is dangerous. He tames beasts with fruit and song," a third council member said. "That's not strength. That's illusion." The Yellery elder raised his hand. The room fell silent. "We must test him again," the Yellery said. "But this time, we choose the beast. One known for its rage and pain. If he fails, we end this talk of human kindness." All nodded in agreement. Meanwhile, far from the tower, Tamed walked through the training grounds. Several young aliens from different species stood in a circle around him, curious and eager. He taught them slowly how to breathe, how to stand still, how to read a creature's eyes, how to show calmness even when afraid. It wasn't about power. It was about connection. Lyra watched from a distance, her ears twitching. She had started to believe in his way, but something inside her still felt uncertain. Would kindness always work? What if the next beast could not feel peace? She walked over and handed Tamed a drink. "You know they're planning another test," she said. Tamed nodded. "I expected that." "They're not happy," she added. "You've made them question everything. Some feel like they're losing control." "I'm not here to take control," Tamed said simply. "I just want to give another choice." Lyra looked down. "What if they give you something too dangerous this time? What if you can't reach it?" Tamed looked at her gently. "Then I'll still try." That evening, the council called him to the arena once more. The stadium lights were bright, and the stands were packed. Everyone wanted to see what would happen next. Would the human succeed again? Or would this be the end? Lyra sat near the front, her hands clenched. Tamil walked into the arena as he always did, calm, alone, carrying only his small bag. But this time, even he could feel the change in the air. The silence was heavier. The crowd was tense. From beneath the arena, the gates opened slowly. A deep, low growl rumbled through the stone. Out walked a beast unlike the others, the Morvax. Taller than the Dranox, faster than the Zarnok, and known for its unbreakable rage. Its body was covered in thick scars. Its eyes were dark, wild, and full of pain. Tamil saw it, and for the first time, he felt doubt. The Morvax had been taken from a world destroyed by war. It had lived its whole life in cages, used for battles, hurt by many hands. It didn't just fear. It hated. The crowd leaned forward. The Morvax roared and charged. Tamil moved aside, barely avoiding its claws. He reached into his bag, pulling out a mirror like he had used before, but the Morvax didn't stop. It smashed the mirror with one hit and kept coming. Lyra stood up in panic. Tamil. Tamil rolled across the ground, breathing fast. He tried to reach for another tool, his harmonica, but the Morvax knocked it out of his hand. This was different. This beast wasn't confused. It was in pain. Deep pain. And it saw everyone as an enemy. Tamil backed up slowly, his hands open. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said. The Morvax roared again. Tamil kept his voice steady. "I see your scars. I know you're afraid. I won't fight you." The beast paused for a second but then roared even louder, shaking the walls. Tamil closed his eyes. Then he sat down. Right in the middle of the arena. The crowd gasped. He placed his hands on the ground and spoke softly, not to the crowd, not to the council, but to the Morvax. "No more cages. No more pain. I'm not your enemy." The Morvax slowed. Its breath was heavy. Its legs shook. Tamil stayed still, eyes closed. Slowly, carefully, the Morvax stepped forward. It sniffed the air. Then it stopped, just inches away from Tamil. Silence filled the arena. Then, to everyone's shock, the Morvax lowered its head. It did not attack. It did not run. It simply stood there, breathing. Tamil reached out and touched its shoulder, gently. The entire stadium stood up in silence. No cheers. No claps. Just awe. The council members looked at one another. No words were spoken, but their eyes said everything. Even the Morvax, full of hate and scars, had listened. Tamil slowly stood, placed his hand on the beast once more, and whispered, "You are not alone." Above him, Lyra had tears in her eyes. This wasn't weakness. This was power of a different kind. The next morning, the whole planet of Nuaries was talking about one named Tamil. The human who had sat in front of the wild Morvax and lived. The beast known for rage and violence had listened, had stopped, had calmed. Across the stars, messages spread. On distant planets, people watched the recording. Some cheered. Others stayed silent, unsure of what it meant. But one thing was clear now: this human was different. In the council tower, the elders met again. Their faces were tense. He didn't fight. He didn't even run. And the beast still stopped. "This is not just about animals anymore," said the Emeri elder. "This is about how we train, how we lead. His way is spreading. He is dangerous not because of power but because he changes minds." The Yellery elder raised a hand. "Then we must watch him closely. There is more coming. Not all beasts can be calmed. Let us see what happens next." Meanwhile, Tamil sat quietly near the edge of the arena gardens. His shoulder was wrapped in cloth. During the Morvax test, he had been struck once, claws scraping across his side before the beast stopped. It wasn't a deep wound, but it ached. Lyra sat beside him, watching birds fly between the trees. "You could have died," she said. Tamil nodded. "Yes." "Why didn't you defend yourself?" she asked. "Even just once." Tamil smiled slightly. "Because if I had fought back, the Morvax would have felt like it was right to be afraid. I had to show him that not every hand brings harm." Lyra looked at him for a long moment. "You did more than calm a beast. You changed something inside people. Even inside me." Tamil turned to her, curious. She continued. "I grew up thinking strength was shouting louder, standing taller, being faster. But you taught me that strength can also be quiet. It can be gentle." Tamil looked down. "That's something my grandfather used to say." She tilted her head. "You speak of him often." "He raised me," Tamil said. "Taught me that fear is a signal, not a curse. He said the hardest thing isn't calming others. It's staying calm inside yourself." There was silence between them for a moment. A peaceful silence. Then, footsteps approached. A council guard bowed slightly. "Tamil. You are needed in the council hall. Something urgent." Tamil and Lyra exchanged glances. They stood and followed the guard through the stone corridors. Inside the council hall, tension hung heavy. The Yellery elder stood before a large glowing screen. On it was a planet gray, cracked, smoking. "This is Tarnus, a planet on the outer edge," he explained. 3 days ago, a creature appeared. Larger than any we have recorded. Not from here. Not from any known world." The image zoomed in, showing a massive beast covered in hard, black scales. It had no eyes, only a mouthful of sharp teeth. Its roar had shattered glass towers. "It has destroyed 2 cities," said the Krogan general. "Every team we sent has failed. Blasters do nothing. Barriers are crushed." Tamil stepped forward. "You want me to try?" The room was quiet. "No," said the Emeri elder. "We don't want you to. But we need you to." Lyra stepped in. "It's too dangerous. That thing doesn't look like it can feel anything. Not fear. Not pain. Not even thought." Tamil looked at the screen. The beast looked like something from a nightmare. Not a wild animal, but something older. Something darker. "Give me a chance," he said. "I'll go." Later that evening, before his ship was ready, Lyra found him again near the hangar. "You don't have to do this," she said. "No one will blame you if you say no." Tamil shook his head. "If I don't go, others will. They'll bring weapons. And if that doesn't work, they'll destroy the whole planet." "You think you can reach it?" Lyra asked. "I don't know," he said honestly. "But maybe it's not just a beast. Maybe it's alone. Lost. Maybe it was never meant to be here." Lyra placed a hand on his arm. "You changed how I see the world, Tamil. Be careful. Don't change yourself trying to save it." Tamil smiled. "Thank you, Lyra. I'll remember that." The ship lifted off slowly, lights glowing against the dark sky. Lyra watched it rise into the stars until it became a dot, then disappeared. She stood there for a long time, hoping, praying, that Tamil's way, the way of peace, would work one more time. But deep in her heart, she knew this next beast would not be like the others. The ship moved silently through space, stars blinking all around it. Inside, Tamil sat alone, watching the planet Tarnus grow larger on the screen. His heart was heavy, but his face remained calm. He knew this might be the hardest task of all. The creature waiting for him on Tarnus was not just wild, it was full of rage, destruction, and mystery. No one knew where it had come from. No one knew how it had survived weapons and fire. And now, Tamil was being sent not to fight, but to understand. He held a small picture in his hand. It was old and folded. On it, he and his younger brother stood beside a river, both smiling. His fingers brushed over the image gently. "I'll try, like you would have," he whispered. When Tamil landed on Tarnus, the air was thick with dust. The ground was broken, and the wind carried a strange, deep sound like the breathing of something huge. Buildings lay in ruins. The city was quiet, lifeless. He walked alone through the streets. Broken glass crunched beneath his boots. Black smoke floated above. And then he saw it. The creature stood at the edge of the city, taller than the towers. Its body was dark and rough like stone. It had no eyes, but it turned toward Tamil, sensing him. It let out a roar that shook the ground. Tamil did not run. Instead, he knelt and placed his bag down. Slowly, he pulled out a small light orb and set it on the ground. It glowed softly, a peaceful white. The creature roared again, louder, and took a heavy step forward. Tamil sat down. He reached into the bag and took out the harmonica. The same one he had used with the Dranox. It had been damaged, but he had fixed it. He lifted it to his lips and began to play. A slow, simple tune. Not a song of joy. Not a song of sorrow. Just a sound that told the truth. "I'm not here to hurt you." The creature growled. Its claws dug into the earth. But it did not attack. Tamil kept playing. He looked at the creature's body covered in scars, parts missing. It had been through something terrible. Maybe pulled from its world. Maybe tested. Maybe left alone too long. The music continued. And slowly, the creature stopped moving. It tilted its head slightly, the first sign of curiosity. Tamil lowered the harmonica and stood. He took a few steps forward, showing his hands. "I see you," he said. "You don't have to be angry anymore." The creature lowered its head slightly. It made a low sound, half growl, half breath. Then, it turned around. And walked away. Tamil stood in silence, watching the beast disappear over the hills. No battle. No fire. Just peace. Back on Nuaries, the council received the message: the human had succeeded. The creature had not been destroyed but had left the city. The council chamber was quiet. The Emeri elder sat back in her seat. He calmed something that destroyed armies. The Krogan general crossed his arms. And he didn't even raise a hand. The Yellery elder spoke softly. "Perhaps we must change how we see strength." They all agreed. When Tamil returned to Nuaries, the city welcomed him not with cheers, but with respectful silence. A new kind of honor. Not loud, not forced, but deep and true. Lyra met him at the spaceport. Her eyes were full of emotion. "You did it," she said. Tamil nodded. "Barely." "You're hurt," she said, pointing to the burn on his arm. "I'll be all right," he said with a tired smile. They walked together through the city. Everywhere they passed, aliens of all kinds bowed their heads. Not as fans, but as equals. Later, at the arena, the same place where it all began, Lyra stood beside Tamil as he looked into the now empty pit where the Dranox had once stood. "I don't know what happens next," he said. Lyra nodded. "But you've already changed the future." Tamil looked at her. "Will you help me?" She smiled. "Yes. I want to learn. I want to teach others. We'll show the galaxy your way isn't weak. It's needed." In the weeks that followed, Tamil's teachings spread. Across the stars, others tried his way. Not all succeeded, but many did. Some planets began to train peacekeepers beside warriors. Some beasts were saved. Some were finally understood. Tamed didn't become a leader. He didn't sit on any throne. He chose to travel. From planet to planet, with only his bag, his harmonica, and the belief that every creature, even the most feared, wanted to be seen, heard, and understood. And beside him walked Lyra, once a fighter, now a teacher. And behind them, across the stars, the whispers grew stronger, unbelievable. No one had ever tamed that beast until the human came.